Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. You know, I do see Conor McGregor beating Michael Chandler. About a month ago when the fight came out, I talked about how Chandler is a bad matchup for Conor. But actually, I've studied both films for both guys. Really more of Chandler than I have Conor. Yes, it's true Conor's more one-dimensional than Chandler is, but Chandler is also more punchable than Conor is. You know, Conor, outside of Dustin Poirier, who's gotten better since the first time they fought in 2014, shout out to Dustin Poirier, I think Conor would admit that, even though he's already beaten him anyway, so it doesn't matter as much. Conor doesn't really get hit a lot in his fights when it's a stand-up contest, you know? He usually gets beat by a guy who wrestles and can grapple and submit guys like Nate Diaz and Khabib Nurmagomedov. I know he got beat in boxing, but that has nothing to do with MMA. If that was an MMA fight, he would have beat Floyd Mayweather. That's just what it is. But he could beat Chandler because Chandler's very punchable. Ask Justin Gaethje. Ask Tony Ferguson before he got knocked out with a front kick, which has happened before in other fights. Tony was lighting him up. Why? Because they were standing up and he was hitting him too much. Here's the problem. Nothing against Tony Ferguson, but if Tony had some serious... If he would have had Conor's knockout power and been more accurate instead of going into a brawl mode like he did, picking him apart, not brawl mode, but picking him apart and not really knocking him out. Tony's more of a slicer, slice and dice guy. Not to say he can't knock you out like Conor can, but that's more of what he does on the feet with guys. The guys he fights end up cut up a lot, especially when he was winning more and not struggling so much like he is today. Conor McGregor ain't looking to cut and bust you up. He's looking to knock you out and put you to sleep. So with that being said, if not Gaethje, but if Chandler keeps this fight standing within the first 2-3 minutes, he can and probably will get knocked out. Chandler should win the fight because he's a better wrestler than Conor McGregor. But Conor McGregor is a knockout guy. He usually knocks you out. He doesn't take you to distance outside of the Max Holloway fight and the second Diaz fight where he outstruck him on the feet and outsmarted him to a big victory. So Conor McGregor definitely can win. Chandler fights a lot in brawl mode. He gets clipped a lot. Like I said, if Tony had knockout power that day, he would have won that fight if he would have hit him with 1 or 2 big shots. Justin Gaethje had knockout power, didn't put him away, but Chandler has a lot of heart. So it makes sense he didn't put out Chandler, you know? Whereas Tony, boop, right spot, he'll go down. Conor McGregor hits really hard. He's a pinpoint guy. He's an assassin. I refer to him as the cerebral assassin. Not like Triple H, but that's a cool nickname for Conor too. Cerebral assassin of MMA. Because he hits you. He's precision. He has a lot of precision when he hits people. A lot of power too. And his timing's really perfect. So if a guy can knock out Aldo in 13 seconds, imagine what he can do to a guy like Chandler who's already been knocked out before. Remember, Aldo hadn't been KO'd before. That was his first time getting knocked out. Chandler's been knocked out by Pitbull. He's been lit up by Tony Ferguson. Should have been put away by Gaethje. And Poirier has hit him before and hurt him pretty bad. Imagine what Conor can do. Conor hasn't fought in 2 years. He's going to be very fresh. He's going to be motivated to win this fight. So if Conor can land some big punches on the feet, he's not going to just brawl with you and land a few punches. And he's going to have some weight on top of that. He's going to be stronger and hit harder. And he's got those wheel kicks that can throw Chandler off. So he can definitely win this fight. It's a very winnable fight for Conor McGregor. If he knocks him out, it'll be within the first round. It has to be in the first round, no later than early, mid-second round. Otherwise, he will lose that fight because he'll get taken down and get ragdolled and, you know, stuff like that. But if he keeps this fight standing, he definitely can win that fight.